Okay, it's Monday, October 3rd. This is a mid-morning SPY update. It's a little over 2 hours into trading, and so far on the daily chart, you can see here we have a green bar that's kind of opened, it looks like, above the midpoint of the prior day and is heading up. But there's a whole lot of things, that still have to unfold to really get a clear indication what's going on. First of all, it is very clear that at least from the open, okay, we had a first bar that kind of started down, but then paused a little bit, paused on bar two, and there was your breakout buy right there to see if you can take out the overnight highs, the intraday pre-market highs, which you did, and now we're rallying up. So at this point, we definitely have an uptrend on the day, an up bias. We're just going to see now as we pull back and pause. We've been up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars. So pretty normal area to kind of pause a little bit. We'll see if we get something orderly in here and then can get a 15-minute back up green and start attacking the highs of the day. If we can do that, then at some point, then we're getting very close to getting a 2-up day. And if we get a 2-up day, then we target this next bar here as a high. And since this next one's kind of close by too, maybe, if we can get the 2-up day today into tomorrow, we could be targeting the weekly high as discussed. So, and then at that point, let's just say things stay really strong, which I'm not really expecting, but let's just, you just go price action by price action at this point. If the weekly bar turns up somewhere early in the week, then we're going to keep an eye on reaching this target. And maybe we start up early in the week, and by the end of the week, we fail to reach there and turn down, and that starts the downtrend. Because in the end, keep in mind, this is just the first day of the month, monthly bar. Yeah, it's a little green because we started up. So we're going to monitor this opening price very carefully all week and month long to see if we stay above or below it to keep the continuity green at the moment or red. But after this big red bar last month, I am anticipating a test lower. So at some point, I'm expecting some kind of turnaround to head back down. Weekly bar, same kind of thing. But it's 3 weeks in a row down. So you might get a little, consolidation before that happens, and that's what's developing now. So we know what the opening price is on this weekly bar, and we want to make, as long as we're above there, we're going to stick with the short-term up bias. So that's kind of why it's kind of easy right now to kind of stay with the up bias, and here's the open right there of the week, the day, the week, the month, right at that point right there, the first bar. So as long as we stay above there, continuity is going to be upside, and I'll look for, I'll kind of keep in mind what's developing, as I still think at some point we should roll over the downside. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get out here in this mid-morning update, that it's easy to kind of trade short term, stay long. We want to watch, if we get a nice orderly pullback, we'll expect another push up. If that push up gets some momentum, we'll expect, the daily chart to maybe have some targets up here for the rest, for a few days. And at some point within this overall structure, I still think we're going to roll over and head down, but maybe we have to broaden out. As we came down here, maybe we have to took out this low. Maybe we have to take out this high first on the upside before we roll over. So there's going to be a whole bunch of clear indications, in my opinion, when we do roll over. But, at this point, you don't guess. You don't know for sure. We might be heading up weekly high and then heading up here, into next week. And who knows? But at this point, given the bigger picture, I'm still going to stay biased that we're going to fail at some point and head down, but I'm going to still play the structure, which is definitely up at the moment. And there are a bunch of stocks that gave you good, buy opportunities today. I happen to be short Tesla for other reasons, which is, I don't want to get into that on this update here, but, let's just see. Right now, let's just conclude here with the mid-morning update showing it was an up bias. If you're just trading this purely, you could have definitely had a little short, small gain here. You had no risk to see how this develops. If this chart really collapses and heads below, the midpoint of that first bar, which would be below the intraday range, then all of a sudden, we haven't even gotten a 2. We're just on an inside bar here so far. So we haven't even gotten the 2 up on the daily bar yet, even though the structure started up. So that's what I'm kind of getting at here. Like, you can clearly see what opening price action leads you, but now you got to monitor all your levels and what you know has to happen for other things to happen. And, we're not there yet. So that's why, as long as this stays orderly, then certain chain reaction things can happen to the upside. But if not, then all this up action means nothing if we get below the open of today and maybe fail and start red and get back in line with the bigger picture. So we'll see what happens. Just wanted to give a kind of a 2-hour update here. here into trading, just to show you what the immediate bias is, what we're looking for, how we're kind of analyzing structure, what we know the daily chart has to do to continue higher, and what we know, the weekly chart has to do and its levels. And if not, then we know that there's still bias to the downside, just given follow through from the end of the bars that ended the week last week on the weekly chart and the monthly chart. We know there's still a bias to the downside in the big picture, but until it rolls over, we're just going to stick with watching price action, bar by bar here and time frame to time frame.